Alright guys, yesterday we talked about how we convert things into vertex form, but I want you to know that sometimes your vertex form isn't always going to be so nice and what you would call friendly. So, in this case, as we're going into vertex form, remember that we are wanting to get down to this situation, x in parentheses to the second power, and then we're going to have something either plus or minus there on the end. So this is in standard form, and we want to get that into vertex form. So guys, go ahead and identify what your b is. What's your b? That's right, your b is equal to 15. And that gives you some, that tells you a little bit about what's going to be in your answer, because you see that this is plus 15x. That means that in the parentheses, you're going to be plus a number. Now, the next part is we need to start working with our b. So we're going to take our b, and we are going to divide that by 2. And I'm going to say b equals 15. And when I divide b by 2, I say 15 divided by 2, and I get 7.5. Now, 7.5 is a decimal. And remember, we have to square that 7.5. So I'm going to take 7.5 and I'm going to raise that to the second power. And if you don't have you're going to want a calculator for this part. So we're going to take 7.5. And I'm going to go ahead and put that in right there, 7.5. Raised to the second power. And I get 56.25. Okay? And so what I want to do now is I'm going to go back to my original problem, and I'm going to rewrite this first part of the equation, or this whole equation, just like this. I'm going to say y equals, and then I'm going to say x squared plus 15x. I'm going to put my little finger space in there and close the parentheses, minus 17. Now, this is where that other number comes in. Remember, what was the number that I'm supposed to add? I'm supposed to add 56.25. So I'm going to put plus 56.25. And then, let me rewrite this just so it's a little bit neater here. It's going to be y equals x squared plus 15x plus 56.25, and then on the outside I'm going to put minus 17, and then to make everything stay the same, I'm going to put minus 56.25. Now, by the way, remember what our b was? That was 7.5, or b divided by 2 was 7.5. That is the number that goes down here on the bottom. Okay, and so now I have x plus 7.5, that's all in parentheses, raised to the second power, and then I have this other part that I have to do at the end. And I've got to figure out, all I've got to do is the math, minus 17 minus 56.25. And so when I work that out, I'm going to get my calculator back up here and say negative 17 minus 56.25, and I'm going to, I need to erase that equal sign, sorry guys, and that's negative 73.25. okay, and so I'm going to go back to my original equation. Since that was negative 73.25, that is what I'm going to put right here. So my equation is, in vertex form, y equals x plus 7.5 raised to the second power minus 73.25. Okay, that is my vertex form. And my equation is, or my vertex actually is, negative 7.5 comma negative 73.25. 0.25. That's my vertex form. That's my vertex of the equation.